This is Access 2016, Module 1, Part 2. In this segment, we are going to be adding records that are located in another database. We're going to use the copy and paste append technique to move those records into our table that we have already created. So let's get started. At this point, you should have already created the visit table in the Riverview database. We created that in part 1 of this module. So if you do not have that, you will need to go back and complete that segment so that you can follow along. So we're going to go ahead and open up our visit table. You should have that table created, and you should already have added some data into it. So now we have to locate the database that has the rest of our data. So what we're going to do is we're going to minimize this database, and then we're going to start up another Access application. So you're going to go to All Programs and locate Access. And then you're going to go to Open Other Files. This file would have been copied from the Q drive when you located those files. I have copied mine into the data files on my computer. On yours, this would be located under Access-1, the module folder. You should find a database called Kimberly. We're going to click on that database and open it. You'll want to enable the content and then open up the appointment table. You can see the appointment table has the same fields in the same order that we have in our table. So we are able to then just copy and paste these records into our table in the Riverview database. So in order to select all of the records, you're going to click in this left corner button. When you do that, it highlights all of the records that are in that table. Then you're going to choose Copy. Once you've chosen Copy, then you can close the table. It says you have copied a large amount of data into the clipboard. Do you want to save it? You have to say yes here. When you copy information into the clipboard, that's where it comes from when you say paste. So if we said no here, then it would delete these records out of the clipboard and your paste will not work. So we want to say yes. And then you can close this version of Access and go back and open up the one that we were previously working with, our Riverview. Next, we're going to click on the first available record, and on the Paste drop-down arrow, we're going to choose Paste Append. You'll notice then it shows you that it added 65 records, and you can choose to say yes, and now your table has all of this additional information into it. You didn't have to type it all. Now, one thing to keep in mind, this works the same way as if we had typed it. If you could imagine very quickly when we were pasting, each record had a pencil and then the pencil disappeared. Okay, so unless you see a pencil next to one of the records, which you should not, then you do not have to save. Now, a few things about navigating within a table. The first thing to be aware of is we do have these navigational arrows. So this one will take me to the first record. This one takes me to the last. This one takes me one prior or one forward. This button adds a new record. So if I click on this, it will allow me to add additional records if I needed to. Now, one thing you may want to do is to enlarge our column, because as you see, some of these fields don't fit now. So if we double click to auto fit, then we can save, and then we're ready to close our table. In the next videos, we will be looking at additional types of objects that we can create in our table.